Okay, hello Mallory. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing better.
Good, good. It's good
Yeah,
to see you. It's good to see you again. It's been a while.
yeah, it has been a little bit.
How's life going?
Overall, life has been definitely getting more manageable, but I'm still kind of struggling with some of the same concerns I brought in last time. So, just a little overwhelmed with life and um, having a difficult time sometimes. I get a little anxious about situations and my mood gets a little down. It's harder for me to feel motivated and, when you have so much going on. So
Yeah, sounds like you're maybe getting a little burnout, a little tired.
yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. All right. So it seems like maybe a couple of things have changed since we met last. So I would like to, if it's okay with you, just go over a few things so I can get a idea of where you're at today.
Okay.
All right. Um, So the first thing I would like to do is just take a little assessment here and take a look at maybe how your anxiety is doing, your level of anxiety, and so I'm going to read off some symptoms of anxiety to you, and you can indicate to me, if it's how much you've been bothered by them um, during the past month. So we're only going to go back a month, including today, um, and then we'll go from there. So. Um, have you been having any numbness or tingling?
Um, Nothing out of the ordinary. No, nothing that stands out.
Okay. Have you been feeling hot at all?
Yeah, I do get some hot flashes, but I don't know if that's just due to my work environment. A
Gotcha.
lot of running around and stuff.
Have you been unable to relax?
Yeah, relaxing can be difficult for sure.
I'm sorry, what was that again?
Relaxing can be difficult. Yeah.
Okay. Any wobbliness in your legs?
I feel unsteady at times, but nothing too intense.
Okay. Do you have the fear of the worst happening? Feeling a,
No,
feeling a dread? No.
no.
Have you been dizzy or lightheaded at all?
Occasionally, yeah.
How about your heart? Has it been pounding at all or racing?
Nothing out of the ordinary, no.
Have you been feeling unsteady?
Sometimes, yeah.
Terrified or afraid?
No, never terrified.
Nervous?
Definitely nervous.
Would you say mildly, but it doesn't bother you much? Or mildly,
Um,
moderately,
I'd say it
severely?
definitely bothers me a bit. I get nervous about, events that are coming up or even just work or things
Right.
that, being in contact with certain people and not knowing how to deal with situations sometimes. And it's really just the anticipation of it. It's not even as much when
Uh,
I'm actually physically involved in a situation.
Would you say it's been severe, or just moderate? And
Maybe just moderate.
okay, feeling of choking.
Um, I don't know that I would say that it was that intense, but I mean, I definitely get like a tightness in like my neck and stuff.
Right. What about trembling of the hands?
Not very often.
Shaky or unsteady? We
Yeah,
already we did unsteady, but okay.
sure. Yeah, at times.
Do you notice it more times than others, or at certain times?
Um, Probably at work. I don't know, actually, fairly consistently.
Yeah.
Um, I think I just live my life. I'm so busy that I'm always kind of scrambling to get things
Yeah.
done, and so I'm like dropping things all the time and trying to like,
What about fear of losing control?
yeah.
Would you say that's moderately, severely?
Um, I'd say maybe moderate.
Okay. Difficulty in breathing at all?
Yeah, at times.
Fear of dying?
No,
Scared?
I don't think I'm scared.
Yeah, scared. It's a pretty broad term. I mean,
Yeah, I don't think so.
okay. Indigestion, how's your stomach been?
I definitely have stomach concerns.
Is that going back to your medical
Mm-hmm.
condition?
Yeah, it's more of a medical thing.
Yeah. How's that been?
It's been better, I think, a little bit better. Yeah, I think that when you have a condition like that, you tend to kind of obsess about food a lot, and I've tried to take my focus away from it a little bit more and not care as much about what I'm eating and not be so like, yeah, I guess it gets obsessive. So it sort of turns into like not an eating disorder, but
Right.
something along that same category where you shouldn't be thinking about food as often. So it's been helping out a lot, relieving a lot of stress by not putting so much focus on it all the time.
Yeah, by not obsessing on it.
Sure.
Sounds like you've been handling it in a healthier way.
Yeah, definitely.
That's good. Have you been faint or lightheaded at all?
Yeah, I get a little lightheaded.
Did your face get flushed?
Yeah, I'd say it probably does sometimes, but I can't see it, so I'm not really sure.
So you're not sure. Somebody
No,
would
I
have
do get feelings of warm, like warm. Yeah,
warmness.
yeah,
All right. What about hot or cold sweats?
yeah, for sure. Same kind of thing.
Same kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So looking at what we just did and comparing it with what we did last time, a few things have gone up. You're feeling them more frequently, just a few things. So it seems like maybe you at this point are a little more anxious than the last time we met.
Mhm.
Would that be? You think that's the case?
Yeah, there's definitely a possibility of that. I have a lot of things that are coming up, and I don't feel really prepared for any of them.
You
I'm just
still
scrambling, and yeah, so there's definitely a lot of anxiety.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so let's take a look. So we took a look at your depression last time we met, and so let's just go over that real quickly to see how you're doing there. Um, and again, this is another Beck assessment. It's called the Beck Depression Inventory,
Okay.
BDI-2. Um, this one is. It's 21 questions, and it's multiple choice. You're going to pick which one depicts the topic that's discussed. If several of the statements seem to apply equally well, circle the highest number for that group. So you would pick the highest number for that group. So sadness. So these pretty much go on a scale of 0 to 3. 0 being I do not feel sad. 3 being I am sad or unhappy that I can't stand it. So it's like from not being sad at all to being so sad that you can't stand it, and that's how all of these categories go. So the first category is sadness. So have you been experiencing sadness or?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know that I would put myself in the high category, high
right,
end of that for sadness.
right.
But definitely, like, I definitely experience it. Not all of the time, but um,
Is it anything in particular that's making you sad or?
no, not really. I don't think so. I think that I just have moments where when I pause, I just kind of have an overwhelming, yeah, just sort of, yeah, I feel kind of sad. I don't really know why.
Yeah, I think if our anxiety reaches a certain level, it can feel overwhelming, which is definitely not a happy feeling. So
Exactly.
it would definitely be more of a sad feeling.
Yeah, I think you're definitely onto something there.
Pessimism. So this is a little bit different. Zero being I am not discouraged about my future. Going up to three, I feel my future is hopeless and will only get worse. Um, so number one is I feel more discouraged about my future than I used to be. And two is I do not expect things to work out for me.
I don't feel discouraged about my future at all. I generally have a good outlook on my life and where I'm going, and
Mhm.
I have faith
Yeah,
and confidence in myself, and I feel like no matter what I do or where I go, I trust my instincts in that. So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. That hasn't changed since last time, and I think that was like one of the strengths that I picked up about you.
Hmm.
Was that you have a lot of faith in yourself and your abilities. Let's see here. Past failures. Zero being I do not feel like a failure. One being I have failed more than I should have. Two, as I look back, I see a lot of failures. Three, I feel I'm a total failure as a person.
Yeah, I still don't really see myself as a failure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they I think two and three kind of go hand in hand, right?
Mhm.
Any kind of loss of pleasure. Zero being I get as much pleasure as I ever had from the things that I enjoy. Um, one being I didn't enjoy things as much as I used to. Three being I get very little pleasure from the things that I used to enjoy, and three being I can't get any pleasure from the things I used to enjoy.
I think that just some a little bit, like maybe if we talk about the last 6 months, that there might be a little bit of less pleasure, but it really depends. Like I think because I am so busy that I really try hard to sit and enjoy things that I when I do get a chance to do them, but because
Right,
I'm it's very hard for me to turn off,
right,
that I tend to not enjoy them as much just because I know I have so much to do. So I think
right,
there's like, yeah, a little bit of kind of pressure and I don't know. I don't know if maybe resentment's the right word, but I definitely do
right.
get a little bit like that when I'm with other people where I'm like, you have
Yeah,
no idea how much I have to do. And it's like,
right.
but it's probably just me being anxious and, you know.
Yeah, it almost sounds like your loss of pleasure is kind of like situational, like what's going on in your life at the time, not so much of a like an internal
Yeah.
struggle with yourself.
I think that it's just, I tend to find that when I do have breaks or things that I am going to do, I try to force like a really, really perfect time because I know like I'm
Right.
not going to get it again. And then I actually lose quality of the experience from doing that. So
I can definitely relate to that.
yeah. Yeah.
Guilty feelings. Zero being I don't feel particularly guilty. Three being I feel guilty all the time.
I
One
would
is I
say I would say that I do have feelings of guilt, mostly
most of the time.
not maybe well, I don't know, a lot of the time. But what's really fascinating is I'm actually changing my way of like I'm still feeling guilty, but almost for a different reason now. Like before, I was feeling guilty because I was so hard on myself and not letting myself like eat certain things or go and do
Right.
certain things because I had to like maintain a certain image or whatever.
Right.
And now I'm starting to feel kind of guilty that I was doing that to myself. So even though I'm really moving in the right direction, I'm
Right.
definitely like, wow, like you need to be easier on yourself. But I think ultimately it's a good thing. I think it's okay. I don't think I'm feeling as guilty as often as I was before. So I would say that's definitely diminished since last session.
Yeah. Yeah. When you said that, I do remember us discussing you being hard on yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and setting high expectations for yourself. Um, yeah, and it sounds like now, like you're starting to love yourself and almost get mad at yourself for being so hard on yourself. I don't know if that makes any sense, but like you care enough about yourself that you shouldn't be hard on yourself.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I still feel guilty
Yeah,
about things, but I'm getting there. I'm moving in the right direction for sure.
moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
That's all we can do sometimes. Punishment feelings. I don't feel I am being punished. 0. I feel I am being punished is 3. Um, 1 is I feel I may be punished. 2 is I expect to be punished.
This category kind of is hard for me to answer, I guess. Like I don't know that I think about it in a very direct way of like I don't know. I guess by like taking things away from myself, like I guess I am kind of punishing myself a little bit, but it's not like for any particular reason necessarily. So I don't know. I don't really know how to answer that question.
Right. So it's
Yeah.
the punishment's coming from you, from within you, not from somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
So you're looking at it as an internal punishment.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So self-dislike. I feel the same about myself as ever. Is 0. 3 is I dislike myself. 1 is I have lost confidence in myself, and 2 is I am disappointed in myself.
Um, I wouldn't say I'm disappointed or that I dislike myself or anything.
Right. Have you lost any confidence in yourself?
Not in the last 6 months. I think since the last time I probably gained some, but it sort of goes up and down all over the place, you know. It's not a straight line.
Yeah, I can see that. Life, yeah, life changes, life throws you curveballs, and it's definitely I can see how confidence goes up and down. It does
Mhm.
with myself anyway.
Yeah.
Um, Self-criticalness. Are you critical of yourself? 0. I don't criticize or blame myself more than usual. And 3. I blame myself for everything bad that happens. Um, 1, more critical than I used to be, and 2, I criticize myself for all of my faults.
I mean, I would say that I do criticize myself,
Mm-hmm.
not for all my faults. Um, than I used to be 6 months ago. Probably no different. I don't know. That's been too different.
So you think you are critical of yourself, but not any more than you usually are?
Yeah.
What are you critical of yourself about?
I think I just generally have the mentality that like I am responsible for my own like actions, behaviors, and thoughts and whatever. So anytime that anything happens, like I generally look in myself and go, okay, well, not to say like you should hold all of yours, like that you're not to blame for everything, but what you
Right,
could have done or your part.
right,
Um, like I don't. It's hard for me to see people kind of like blame their things on other people or situational things like make up excuses for stuff like oh I would do that but this happened. It's like okay well you could have though and you did so
right.
I guess if you know I guess like I don't know I think I just described me being critical on other people more than I did myself just now.
Yeah, it sounds like that.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
But I think, we generally tend to criticize others the same way we treat ourselves. So I think that's probably part of it. I
Yeah.
have that expectation on myself, so I have that expectation for everybody else too.
And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, right? Um, yeah, it's kind of interesting how that's worded because in the so it goes from I criticize myself, then the last one is I blame myself for everything that has happened. I think there's a big difference between blaming yourself and criticizing yourself. But anyway, I digress. Suicidal thoughts or wishes? You don't have any, or three. Would kill myself if I had the chance.
No suicidal.
Crying. I don't Zero. I don't cry any more than I used to. Three. I feel like crying, but I can't. I cry more than I used to, and I cry over every little thing.
I would definitely put myself in the I want to, but I can't category for sure.
You feel like you're crying, but you can't.
Yeah.
All right. And we have agitation. I am more restless or wound up than usual. Is zero. I am so restless or agitated that I have to keep moving or doing something. One is I feel more restless or wound up than usual, and two is I'm so restless or agitated that it's hard to stay still.
Yeah, it's hard for me to stay still. Maybe the high end of that category.
Okay, loss of interest. I have not lost interest in other people or activities. I am less interested in other people or things than before. I've lost most of my interest in other people or things. It's hard to get interested in anything.
I've lost some interest, I think, in people and things. For sure. I think there's a lot of things going on there. I'm exhausted all the time, and it's hard for me to engage with people when you have such a life that's demanding so much of you that one, it's hard to just relax and enjoy it. But then there's also it feels like a disconnect because I live in this little bubble, and then I try to connect with other people about that sort of life, and that's not always there. So
like the little bubble of like school and work and
yeah, I guess it's not having very many people around me or in my community that are doing what I'm doing, and so
right.
I don't have like a support group very much. Like I have the people in the program, but we don't really we're so busy. It's not like we all get a chance to talk too much about what's going on. We're just doing it. So I think that's a takeaway from the online program, but it's also what works given my ability. I can work and I can do. And then I think the other aspect of it too, it might just be, as you get older, you just kind of prioritize. You're like, maybe I would have done that before. And I love to try new things, but I think that I'm much more apt to do them if it's in my time and,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, life kind of happens. I think too, like you discussed, like at this stage when life's taking a lot out of you as far as what your demands are in your life, it's hard to kind of get back and be involved with other people and activities and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I know myself, I look forward to the days when I can get back to doing that.
Yeah, I agree.
No,
I really do. It's you definitely give up a lot.
You do.
Pretty much everything that you could. Yeah. I mean, I've given it all up, it seems like. And yeah.
All right. Indecisiveness. I make decisions about as well as ever. Is zero. Or three, I have trouble making any decisions. One is I find it more difficult to make decisions than usual. And two is I have much greater difficulty in making decisions than I used to.
I think just to the degree that I am tired all the time, it is harder to make some decisions. But I also find that I'm in such a rhythm of doing things a certain way that I don't have to make as many also.
Right.
So, I buy generally the same kind of things from the store. I've got that kind of down. I know what I like to eat. I know what I like to cook. I don't have to think too much about that. when
Well,
it
I'm
comes
just
to,
goes
yeah,
off
so
time every day. Yeah,
I'm not being asked to make too many decisions, but
right.
and the ones I do are very quick and I just got to do it. And so, like this assessment, trying to plan and prep for this, it was like,
Yeah, yeah.
there's more, you guys kind of have to take action. We can't go through too many things. So, but if I am exhausted and I'm being asked, hey, what do you want to eat here? Or where do you want to go here? I'm totally checked out. I don't want to have to make the decisions, and I definitely struggle with them.
Don't want to think anymore.
No, it gives me a lot of, yeah, I just get anxious and then I don't want anything.
Worthlessness. I do not feel I am worthless. 0, and 3 is I feel utterly worthless. And 1, I don't consider myself as worthwhile and useful as I used to. And 2 is I feel more worthless as compared to other people.
I don't think I'm worthless.
Yeah, you definitely have a theme going in this stuff here. You're not worthless. You're not a failure. Not you see your value. Loss of energy. Oh, geez. I have as much energy as ever. 0, 3 is I don't have enough energy to do anything. 1 is I have less energy than I used to, and 2 is I don't have enough energy to do very much.
I definitely have low energy, but I think that's because I expend so much of it very quickly. Like
Yeah,
if I work out in the morning and then I sit and stare at a screen for even 3 or 4 hours, I feel like I need to go back to sleep because my body's just done. It's shut off, and that I have to go to work. And so, or if I don't work out, then my body can't ever wake up throughout the day. So I definitely feel very low energy. And I know part of that is I have to keep my body moving in order to retain the energy. Otherwise, I just come to a complete halt and I need to go to sleep.
right. I understand that.
So the studying can be very difficult.
What
Just
about,
that fact alone.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, just for that fact alone, just a screen, staring at a screen makes me so tired. Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes at the end of the night, I'm just like, my eyes are,
It can't be good for us.
yeah, I know. Changes in sleeping pattern. I have not experienced any change in my sleeping pattern. There's 0. They got 1 A's and 1 B's in here. 3A is I sleep most of the day. 3B is I wake up 1 to 2 hours early and can't get back to sleep. 1A is I sleep somewhat more than usual. 1B is I sleep somewhat less than usual. 2A I sleep a lot more than usual, and 2B I sleep a lot less than usual.
Sleeping can be difficult for me. I don't know that it's any different than it was last time, though.
Right.
Yeah.
Irritability. I'm no more irritable than usual. 0, 3, I am irritable all the time. 1 is I'm more irritable than usual, and 2 is I am much more irritable than usual.
Well, the usual thing kind of throws me off. One from 6 months ago, where I don't know. I definitely get irritable, but I don't know how. I don't think any different than before. Maybe less than before.
Maybe less?
Maybe, yeah.
Last time you were no more irritable than usual.
Yeah, so I'm probably in the same category. I don't think there's anything different.
Yeah. All right, changes in appetite. Have you had any changes in your appetite? 0 is I have not experienced any change in my appetite. 3A is I have no appetite at all. 3B is I crave food all the time. Somewhat less than usual. My appetite is somewhat greater. Much less than before. Much greater than before.
That's kind of tricky. I want to say that my appetite's my appetite's probably stayed the same for the most part. I want to say that maybe it's increased a little bit, but I don't think that that's really true. I think I just I haven't been, like I said, I haven't been like obsessing over because
Right.
I've been eating a lot more intuitively than I had before, and so that's kind of letting me just when I want to eat, I eat, and like,
Right.
and then I actually get full and I don't have to think about it, and it's nice. It's how it should be. So
Right.
before it was like kind of all planned out almost. So
Okay, we're getting there here. So the concentration difficulty. Uh,
mm-hmm.
I can concentrate as well as ever is 0. 3, I find I can't concentrate on anything is 3. I can't concentrate as well as usual, or it's hard to keep my mind on anything for very long.
I definitely have difficulty concentrating, but and it definitely goes in waves. So it's really hard to say. There have been high points where I feel way more concentrated, and there have been
Right.
low points in the last 6 months where I feel like I cannot simply get anything done.
So it fluctuates.
Uh huh.
Yeah, I think too. I think that can be definitely tied to like physically how you're doing as well,
Mm-hmm.
or sleep or everything else.
Right. Yeah.
Tiredness or fatigue is next. I am no more tired or fatigued than usual. I get more tired or fatigued more easily than usual. I am too tired or fatigued to do a lot of the things I used to do, or I am too tired or fatigued to do most of the things I used to do.
In the one or two there. I'm definitely tired a
Okay.
lot. It's hard to get through work. It's hard to get through, but it's just being overworked and slightly sleep deprived, I think, when I get like an extra day. This week I had one extra day off and I haven't had that in
Wow.
forever. I don't know. So, and that was really nice. I kind of realized like, oh, you needed that.
So you really don't have any days off usually?
No.
That can be tiring all in its just by itself. I know the feeling. I have some days off, but then I'm doing homework. So it's like I'm always doing something. Okay, so the final question on the back depression inventory is loss of interest in sex. I have not noticed any recent change in my interest in sex. Or 3 is I have lost interest in sex completely.
No changes there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I think we can. I wanted to go over those 2 assessments again, just because I thought I noticed maybe a level of change there with you. So I have a better idea now of where I'd like to go. So I just want to ask you a few more questions real quickly, and then we'll get on to wrapping it up, talking about some of your family and educational and stuff like that. So real quickly, so I'll ask you a question, and number 1 is not at all, and number 5 is very much. So have you been feeling depressed, sad, or dejected?
On a scale from 1 to 5.
Yes. One being not at
Yeah.
all, and 5 being very much.
Maybe 3.
Okay. Blaming, criticizing, or condemning myself?
Maybe a 3.
Feeling discouraged or like a failure?
Maybe 1.
Suicidal thoughts or concerns? I think we already discussed that. And feeling irritable, tense, or nervous?
Yeah, maybe a 4.
Okay, we already discussed being fearful. Any terror or panic attacks?
2.
Feel like I am going to pieces?
Maybe 3.
Are you having any work problems?
not necessarily interpersonal problems, but maybe just my ability to get through work can be a struggle sometimes.
So no relational problems at work, just
No,
work itself. Okay.
no. So I would mark that low.
Okay.
Yeah.
Difficulty caring about or concentrating on your work?
Yeah, 3.
Indecision or concern about choice of career or major?
2.
Feeling like I'm not doing as well as I should?
1.
Problems with romantic or sexual relationships?
2.
Any family problems?
None. Not 1 or 2. Maybe 1. Nothing that I can think about right now.
Nothing major. Okay. Difficulty getting along with others?
Maybe a 2 that time.
Okay. Feeling lonely or isolated?
3.
Physical health problems
I would say a 2, just
because of your medical condition?
Mhm.
Headaches?
Yeah, 3.
Okay. We discussed trouble sleeping. Eating appetite or weight problems?
3.
What about, we talked last time about your use of alcohol. Has any of that changed?
No, not really. Probably less, maybe less than before, but not
Less than
by a
before?
whole lot. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. This says my use of marijuana.
It's asking marijuana use.
Yes.
I do it very infrequently.
Okay.
So maybe once a month.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many psychoactive drugs I use?
0.
Are you on any prescribed drugs?
Just a J-cyclamine for my stomach, just to
So-
stop the cramping. Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And what was it called again?
Dicyclamine.
Okay. Okay, that's that one. And then just a few short more questions, and then we'll move on to your personal information. Do you have excessive anxiety or worry about a number of events or activities? 0 being not at all, and 3 being nearly every day. So excessive anxiety or worry about a number of events or activities. 0, not at all. 3, nearly every day.
Nearly every day.
Okay. Finding it difficult to control your worrying?
Yeah.
Feeling restless, keyed up, or on edge?
Mm-hmm.
Being easily fatigued?
Mm-hmm.
Difficulty concentrating or mind going blank?
Mm-hmm.
Being irritable?
Mm-hmm.
You're batting 1,000 here, Mallory.
I know. I wonder what the problem is.
Having muscle tension?
Yeah. For sure.
Having disturbed sleep? Difficulty? Okay.
A little bit.
Okay, so this is the generalized anxiety disorder questionnaire from the DSM-5.
Mm-hmm.
According to the results, here, this is important part of this. And also, this is over the last 6 months, which I think you've been telling me. Are you significantly distressed by these symptoms?
I would say so, yeah.
Have these symptoms made it difficult for you to do your work, take care of things at home, or get along with other people?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So in our future sessions coming up, Mallory, we're going to be working on some healthy coping skills for anxiety.
Okay.
Seems like your anxiety's gone up
Oh,
quite a
yeah.
bit, and like we said before, it could be very well just situational.
Yeah.
It's finals week, whatever. Okay, so all right, real quickly now. I want to know a little bit about yourself. We really didn't cover that in the first session. We touched on it briefly. Uh, what was your childhood like? Did you have a good childhood?
Yeah, I would say for the most part I did. I had a very extensive, huge, extended family of great influences and caregivers. My immediate family situation was a bit more chaotic. A lot of alcoholism in my family, and
That's in your immediate family?
yeah, my stepdad was a severe alcoholic, and he passed away, and he kind of raised us. Both my mom and dad are frequent, regular drinkers, and I had definitely some issues when I was a kid with that, and I was doing a lot of stuff way too young, and I lived by myself when I was like 15 for a little bit, and it was a little crazy. So I was kind of abandoned by my parents, but there was a lot happening, and my grandparents and aunts and uncles and all the rest of them really kind of saved me, I think, from that. So it balanced itself out, I think.
So at what age did this take place? Like this, what age did you feel like you were abandoned by your parents?
So when I was 15, there was just a whole host of things that all happened at one time. It's definitely 15
Okay.
was a golden age.
So sounds like you did a little bit of rebelling.
No, I didn't choose to leave and live on my own.
Okay.
But I mean, I don't know if rebelling is the right word. I sort of was left to my own devices while my parents were involved with a lot of, so.
There's a big difference there.
Yeah.
And your extended family stepped in to help you out.
They didn't really step in, but they were there. So, I still got to see them, and I would reach out to them, and I had them, and knowing that they were there. They wouldn't physically kind of come in and do anything really, but when I did, yeah.
Was there any kind of like physical or sexual abuse or anything like that?
No.
No.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Okay. So I kind of get an idea of what your relationship was like with your mother. Do you have any siblings?
Yeah, I have an older brother.
What's your relationship like with him?
We overall have a pretty good relationship. I think very kind of enmeshed, just because we sort of lived in this tiny, tiny, tiny house with everything going on. We have a close relationship overall, but we have terrible communication problems. We find it really difficult and I think it's because we expect so much of each other.
What about your relationship with your mom or your father?
My mom and I have a great relationship. My dad and I don't really have much of a relationship.
We discussed that. Just let me see one other thing here. Do you currently have important people in your life you can talk to, or do you tend to keep your problems to yourself?
I definitely have important people in my life I talk to, but I don't know. I go in waves. Like, I know that they're there, and I don't know. I have a good support system all around. I live with my two best friends, and they're awesome, so that helps a lot. But
Yep. You have somebody you can talk to with your about your problems.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you said you had two female roommates.
No, two. They're a married, or well, they're both
Okay.
married couple. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. That's that. That. We talked. All
Okay.
right. What was school like for you? I
Um,
guess starting like in elementary up to junior high and then high school.
yeah. So I was a great student. I was the kid that they wanted to like skip grades for when I was young, kind of like knew a lot of the stuff that already before they were teaching it. But
Right.
once I got into middle school, it all just kind of went downhill. I think I got so involved with the chaos at home and all the interpersonal things and hormones and whatever else you want to put it. And I didn't care as much. Frequently skipped class, and I really just didn't like it at all, to be honest. I had a really tough time. I think it made me anxious being in school. I couldn't sit in the same place for long periods of time.
Right.
I had like social anxiety. I didn't really know, like, I knew people and I was friends with people and I was good with people one on one, but the idea of like big groups of people always kind of freaked me out.
So you said you had social anxiety.
I think so, yeah, or general or some kind of anxiety.
Some
So
kind
it
of
made it difficult for me to.
All right. Educational. So I know what your job is now. You're a bartender. Do you enjoy it?
Yeah.
Have you had any jobs in the past besides this one?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. How long have you been working where you're at now?
About 8 months, I'd say.
Okay. All right. Okay, so that's pretty much everything that I need for this session. I think, see some increased anxiety with you, so maybe coming up with something to some kind of coping skills, or I think we talked about it before, but it's really hard to find me time right now with the way life is. But so I think some of your increased anxiety level is understandable. I think it's really situational, but maybe trying to find some like mindfulness or something like that might help you out. So thank you very much, Mallory.
Thank you.
And I'll see you soon.
All right. Sounds good. All right.
All right.
So probably helps. Oh. Hey, Mark, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Yeah. I'm doing well. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, I'm doing okay. A little stressed out, a little overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Got a lot going on. School, working full time, practicum, my kids. So yeah, I'm a little overwhelmed right now, and I'm honestly looking forward to the end of the semester and getting a little bit of a break.
Yeah, it sounds like you have an enormous amount of things going on.
I do.
Yeah, a lot. So overall, would you say, how have you been feeling? Do you, besides being overwhelmed, do you feel like anything's changed much since we saw you last?
I just think I feel more pressure than I did last time we met. I'm really kind of thinking too on it because I'm thinking about the future. Like I'm in my practicum now, so it's 100 hours required, and I know that the internship's like 300 hours required, and I'm just trying to figure out and stressing myself out about how am I going to accomplish internship and work. It's because it's not like I can cut down on my work because I need the money to support my family. So, it's just feeling a lot of pressure, probably more than the last time we met.
Okay. So some heightened pressure.
Yes. Anxiety, pressure.
Anxiety. Okay. So last time we saw each other, I assessed you for anxiety, depression, and we looked at alcohol and substance abuse and that sort of thing,
Yes.
use. So just briefly, I want to go back and go through those
Okay.
assessments again, just to kind of see where we're at and see if anything's changed for you.
Okay.
So the first assessment we're going to look at will just be the anxiety one, because you did
Okay.
mention now that you might have a little bit of added stuff that's going on. So basically this Beck's anxiety inventory, like we talked about last time, it's just going to cover, when we talk about anxiety symptoms, they're often sort of present themselves as like physiological, so things that are happening in your body. And I think I'll just maybe briefly go through some of those with you and see if you've experienced any of that. But just overall, do you think that this stress that you're having, do you find that it does present itself in the body at all, or is it?
Probably one way is like my sleep patterns have been a little worse. But besides that, I don't notice a whole lot of changes physiologically. It's almost like I've adjusted to the stress in my life at this point. Like I'm used to it, and I just, I roll with it.
And like obviously a little bit of stress can be beneficial because that's what keeps
Absolutely.
yeah exactly doing what we need to get done.
Gets things done.
With are you experiencing any like numbness or tingling in the body or feelings of being hot or hands trembling, feeling unsteady? Nothing like that comes to mind.
No, I don't. One good thing is that the job that I do is very physical. It's physically demanding, so I get a lot out of. By the end of the day, I'm physically tired. Like I think I work a lot of my stress and anxiety like out of my body through my job, through what I do. So I'm grateful that I have the job that I have. It's almost like a workout every day.
Yeah, sounds like it.
All day, so it helps.
That's great. That's great. You recognize the benefit of that.
Yes.
I'm sure it probably does keep, gives you a productive outlet for
It does.
For any of the stress that you are experiencing.
Yeah, I mean, I can almost notice it, but in the morning I'll be much more stressed out than I am at the end of the day after a day of work.
That's okay. That's great.
Yep.
Last time you told me that you had some experiences with being unable to relax. Is that still true now?
Yeah, that's definitely true.
Okay.
I don't know. I almost feel like I should always be doing something. Like I'm not accomplishing something. Idle time is rare, because if there's any idle time, I'm always like, there's an assignment I could do. So it's almost like I feel guilty with any kind of like alone me time, pleasure time. I know I've got stuff I need to do, and my kids need. So I'm in high demand from school, from work, from my kids.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense that you'd feel like, because you're spread so thin, you're only getting so many things done. Oh gosh, that other area now needs to be addressed.
Yeah.
Do you find that it's pretty severe? Like, that's like all you said all the time, or is this moderate? This bothers you like a moderate amount?
It comes and goes. Yeah, I'm better at sometimes than others. My wife will say sometimes like, "Wow, you're really like." I don't know what word she'll use, but like you are really in a bad mood right now. Like you're really, really irritable. And I kind of like, when she says that, like I'm like, you know what? She's right. Like I am. I can sense times where I like my fuse is short. Like I don't have not a lot of bend left in me sometimes. But then sometimes, other times, I'm okay. I can deal with the deal with the anxiety sometimes. Sometimes it's tough.
Hmm. That's interesting. So you're noticing that there's a difference in like your own personal perceptions about how you're doing versus how other people are perceiving you.
Yes. Yes.
Um, and so you mentioned irritability being one of them, and that's
Yes.
something that you do. You, after she said that to you, do you think that you do have that? Yeah, you
Yeah.
experience that, or
Yeah, I do. I
you do
do.
experience that? Okay.
I do. I do think I am irritable. I think I can get wrapped up in myself too. Like I've got so much that in my own mind that I need to get done. Like I forget about other people and like their needs or like what they might be thinking or what they need from me. Like I can get really wrapped up in myself sometimes and just forget about everybody else,
Hmm.
which isn't a good. It's not a good feeling when it's brought to your attention. It's like,
Yeah.
you know what, you're right. I am kind of being a jerk right now. Like, sorry.
Hmm. I see. Okay. Well, you know, some of the things that you're describing to me, I think I want to address when we go through the other exams that we're going to go through.
Okay.
That we can probably say in terms of the Beck's anxiety that everything's pretty much stayed the same for you there.
Yep.
Do you? I guess the one question I would ask is, do you ever feel like you're losing control because you do have a lot going on?
Yeah, definitely.
You
I
do.
def I definitely at times feel like I'm losing control.
Okay.
But in the very back of my mind, I know that I have the resilience to get it done. Like sometimes I'm just like, if I'm looking at like what I got lined up for the next 3 days and the assignments that are due and my work schedule and my practicum and the notes, it's like totally overwhelming, but I always get it done. So
Mhm.
I can feel like I'm losing control, but yet I know that I will get it done.
Sure.
So
I
it's like
understand. It's an odd
yeah,
balance. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I understand. I understand
Even
that feeling.
even if it's 3 a.m, typing out a paper, I'll get it done one way or another.
Hmm. And I think those are two different things. You know, I think that feeling like we are losing control, but knowing like we're going to be okay is
Yeah,
they're kind of different things. I think losing control just feeling you just kind of feel completely overwhelmed and
yeah.
taken
I mean,
over by the amount that you have to do, and your brain's just kind of
yeah.
clicking on you. So,
And there'll even be times where I like, you know what, like I'm done worrying about all this stuff. Like it's gonna be all right. It's gonna be okay. Those times are few and far between, but sometimes I just get to the point of like I'm tired of worrying about like it's.
mm,
And it's like I can obsess and stress on something, and then I can be like on a rare occasion be like it's just an assignment. Like
hmm.
God forbid I turn one assignment in, 2 hours late, you know. Um, but like that's a possibility, like, and
Sure.
probably wouldn't be a big deal.
Right. Well, I think if you're doing your studies at the caliber that you're doing it at, you obviously have showed a lot of care and dedication to your work, and
Yep.
so it's hard to not want to maintain that. And
Yep.
a degree that is a professional degree, it's very different.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just briefly go over the Beck depression inventory now.
Okay.
And this one's gonna go through some of the things that you actually just talked about a little bit. So there's gonna be a total of just 21 different categories that I'm gonna look at with you. And before I actually go into the options, I'm just gonna address really the category, and we'll see if we need to look into it any further.
Okay.
So the first one is sadness. Do you find that you feel sad?
No.
No. Okay. And what about pessimism? Are you discouraged about your future, or do you feel pretty good about that?
No, I don't get pessimistic about it. No.
How do you feel about it?
I feel optimistic about it. I'm
Mhm.
excited. Like I keep saying to myself, like all of this is temporary. I can't wait till I am like a counselor at an inpatient facility and the life will be good. So I try to focus on that. I'm not always successful, but
Okay, well, that's great that you are maintaining that the outlook on the future. It can be hard to know, it's hard to really think about. It's hard to process the process, as you're going along because it's so much. But you still feel good about your past, so it's great.
Yeah.
Do you experience, in terms of, do you find that you're a failure, or do you have past failures, or is failure something that that's not really a word that you associate with too often?
I don't know about failures. I am a recovering alcoholic, so I don't know if I've had failures in my life, but like I feel like a total winner in that, like I recognize my problem and I'm doing the right thing now. So like, yeah, I have screwed up and I've made some bad situations in my life, but I don't know if I'd look at them as failures. I think everything happens for a reason, and I had to go through everything I had to get through to get to where I'm at today.
So would you say that as you look back, I see a lot of failures? And kind of just describe that to me, that you do when you look back.
Yeah, there was a lot of failures. There's definitely a lot of relationship failures because I was not a good partner to have when I was in my active alcoholism. Like I had a lot of failed relationships, a lot of crazy relationships. And for a long time, that kept me stuck. Those failures kept me stuck in my alcoholism. So I had to like step above them and clean myself up. So yeah, I've had my share of failures for sure.
Okay. What about loss of pleasure? Do you find that you were not enjoying things like you used to enjoy?
Yeah, and I think right now, I think it's just situational. Like my life is so busy with other stuff. It's like pleasure time for me is few and far between.
So when you do experience those activities, though, at the times that you do have a chance to, do you find that you enjoy them less, or do you think that it's?
No, I enjoy them more. Like I will take time out to be with, do stuff with my kids.
Okay, perfect.
So that's great. It is. It is.
Yeah. Okay. Did you want to say more about that? I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say I have a 7-year-old and a 9-year-old. Those are my two boys, and I have a 10-year-old girl. So I do get to do like a lot of fun things with them, like go to like bowling alleys or go to like bouncing balloon places. So I do get to have a lot of fun with my kids, and when I do get to do stuff with them, I really enjoy it a lot.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, that's great. Do you find that you're feeling guilty at all? You mentioned guilt to me earlier. Do you feel that you have some guilt over
a little bit
some of the time and some of the things you do, or?
I have a little bit of guilt in that I just get so wrapped up in my own life that like my kids and my wife like don't get what they need from me.
Okay.
And I always say to them, like, I'm like, this isn't forever, but Dad has got so much to do right now, and that shouldn't, I need to I feel like I need to make more time to be with them. So that's what makes me guilty.
Okay. So you're not feeling guilty most of the time, but you are feeling guilty over some things that you should be doing or you could be doing different.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. And punishment, do you like feel like you should be punished for things, or that you might be punished for things that you mentioned when you're drinking before? I feel like that you may probably have been more caught up in that cycle.
Oh yeah.
You're going to have consequences. Do you think that you have that anymore?
No, I don't think I do anymore. I think I'm done punishing myself. I did enough of that for a long time. So,
and you made a ton of progress.
yeah, and I'm also in recovery too. Like I'm in recovery. Like I go to like meetings and stuff like that. So I have a lot of gratitude and acceptance today for like who I am and what I've done. So that helps me out a lot.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's huge.
It is for all involved, especially my kids.
Yes, exactly. You're not just changing your life. You're changing everyone else in your life too.
Yep.
What's your take on yourself? Do you like yourself? Are you critical of yourself?
I generally like myself, but I think I can be self-centered sometimes, which I do not like about myself, and I'm aware of it. And I think that comes along with because I hear it all the time in talking to fellow people in recovery, like that we're kind of like a self-centered bunch. So I can be I don't like sometimes that I'm self-centered, but I'm aware of it at the same time. So it's kind of like.
Okay, so to some degree, recovering has actually made you a little bit more critical of yourself, but you realize that it's actually benefiting you because it means that you're more aware as well.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, and I think sometimes being more self-aware is not. I mean, it's a great thing, but it can also. Yeah.
But yeah, you bring things. You bring attention to anything, and you're. Yeah. So I think being hypercritical to a point, obviously, that can reach an area where you can,
right
over, but it doesn't sound like it's to a degree that it's impinging too much on your life. Any suicidal thoughts or frequent crying or anything?
No, I haven't. I had to put one of my goats down today, though, and it did make it almost brought a tear to my eye.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, but no, I haven't. Sometimes I wish I'd cry more. I do not cry. Like I don't know.
Do you feel at times that you really want to, but you can't, or is it just you?
Yeah, I think there's times where I'm like, I wish I could cry. Like I wish I could, but I don't. I've always been that way. Ever since I was a kid, I have always held my emotions in. Ever since whenever. My mom always tells me that, like, you never showed your emotions and you never have.
Okay. You said you get irritable at times. Do you get agitated?
Yeah, I do. I get irritable. I can get agitated. I can get short, especially with my kids sometimes.
Is it so hard to stay? Is it really hard to stay still? Or are you so restless you and agitated you have to keep moving and doing something?
No.
Okay.
No.
So do you feel more restless and wound up than usual?
No. No, not than usual.
Okay. So I'm gonna categorize you there just because it seems like you are having some agitation. What about loss of interest in activities? It sounds like you don't have the time to, but do you still have an interest in them?
I have interest in them, but I haven't done them. Like I used to play basketball all the time. I used to go to the gym all the time. Like I haven't done that in forever and ever. Like since I went back to school. So there's things that I'm definitely missing in my life that I know would be good in my life that I'm not implementing in my life.
So would you say that you have less interest in other people and things, or that you find that it's hard to get interest in anything? or the interest is still there, you're just tired and you can't implement it?
I don't know. I think I almost have less interest.
Okay.
And I
Yeah,
think,
I could see that maybe a little bit when it's, you know.
and I think the older I get, the less, the less and less interest I have.
Sure.
I don't know. It's,
Yeah. I think it makes a lot of sense.
yeah.
Indecisiveness. Do you think that you're indecisive?
I can be. And then I can be very decisive too. I think it depends on what it is.
Okay, so situational. And do you think that you find it more difficult to make decisions right now than you used to?
No, I don't. And like most of the decisions that I have to make, I just have to make them because things have to get done.
Sure.
So they're kind of like, it's not even like, it's just like, I need to do this. That's the decision's kind of taken off the board.
Okay. Do you have feelings of worthlessness, or do you feel pretty worthy?
And I feel pretty worthy.
Okay, good. You are worthy.
Thank you.
You have less energy than it sounds like than you used to, right? Since you
Definitely.
Okay. Do you feel just less than you used to, but it sounds like you're still getting a lot done, right?
Feels like what?
Well, you have enough energy to do quite a bit of things. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And any changes in your sleeping patterns? Do you think you're sleeping more or less than usual?
I just think situationally I've been sleeping less than usual.
Okay.
Because I just can't afford to. There's many nights where I'm up doing homework late.
Sure.
Only time I can do it.
Okay. Yeah, again, also makes sense. That makes sense. Given your lifestyle right now.
Yep.
And irritability, do you think you're more irritable than usual?
Yeah, I can be. Yeah, I think I'm more irritable than I usually am.
Okay. And your changes in appetite at all?
No, it's the same.
Okay.
I always have good appetite.
I love it. Any concentration difficulties?
Yeah, there definitely is. There's some nights where like I know I got some nights I'm just like I'll open up my laptop and I'll sit down, I'll be ready, and I'm like, you know what? Like I can't think right now. Like I'm not comprehending like what I'm reading. So I definitely do. I don't know if my brain just gets to a point where it's saturated and done, like I can't comprehend anymore. So there are times like that.
So maybe you can't concentrate as well as you usually have.
Yeah. Right now, recently.
Recently, yeah. And do you think that it's hard to keep your mind concentrated on anything for a very long time, or is it just less than normal?
Less than normal.
Okay. And you're feeling tired probably a lot of the time. Okay.
Definitely is a part of it.
Okay. So let's say tired. Any loss of interest in sex?
Nope.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, looking at the results this time around, it does seem like there are some areas where you may have had a bit of an increase in some of these things. I think part of that might just be that, we spent a little bit more time together, and it sounds like you're kind of opening up a little bit more with maybe some more situational aspects, or, a little bit more content there. So, but for the most part, I would not categorize you as somebody that is experiencing depression. I think it's really just a lot going on, and you're able to manage it. You're maintaining an optimistic perspective on your future, and I think that's wonderful. So
thank you.
It's great. I'm glad that we were able to kind of go through that stuff. And if anything, there are maybe a couple of areas that we now know we can look a little bit more at moving forward.
Okay.
So there were a couple other just quick assessments that I wanted to do, just as like follow-ups to those ones. We are seeing a little bit of additional information. I think it's good just to kind of keep checking off as much as we can, just to get a better idea of maybe techniques and stuff. I wouldn't put you into any real diagnostic category when it comes to some of the more common problems, but just to be safe, I'd like to go through a checklist that looks at more common issues that are kind of occurring, and again, just a good place for us to start moving forward so that we know if we're dealing with more just generalized kind of stress or if there's something, really going on that we can look at.
Sounds good.
The first time we also went through the audit, which was the alcohol use disorders identification test. And I know that you scored 0 across all of that. So I just, as a, highlight, that's been able to open up the conversation around your recovering alcoholism, which is wonderful. And it sounds like you're gaining a lot from going to AA, and it's helping a lot with just your overall acceptance and gratitude. And so it definitely doesn't look like something we're going to have to address, but your history of substance use will definitely be useful to discuss maybe in further sessions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it sounds good.
Yeah. So the first one I was just going to go over with you is the inventory of common problems. And this is just going to give us a little bit more of an idea, but maybe bring up some more potential things that are going on. So we'll just go through those really quickly, and I'm going to ask you 25 questions, and I want you to score them on the scale from 1 to 5, 1 being not at all and 5 being very much.
Okay.
Okay, so are you feeling depressed, sad, or dejected? Again,
2.
1 being not at all, right. And
2.
5 being very much. A 2?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what about blaming, criticizing, or condemning myself?
No, 1.
1? Okay. Feeling discouraged or like a failure?
1.
Suicidal thoughts or concerns?
1.
Okay. What about feeling irritable, tense, or nervous?
3.
And are you feeling fearful? You did mention to me that you are kind of thinking about your future a little bit more. Does that invoke any fear in you, or is it just...
It does.
It does? Okay.
Yeah, I just think the uncertainty of it all. And I think like 2 or 3, probably.
Okay. Would you be more comfortable on the lower or the higher end of that?
Probably more like a 3.
Okay. Do you get spells of terror or panic?
No.
Okay. And do you feel like you're going to pieces?
Like 1 to 2, like a 1.5.
1.5.
If that's possible.
I think it's not possible. So I might actually categorize you as a 2 in that, only because you've mentioned that you've had some feelings of losing control. You are spread really thin. So to me, that kind of feels like you're sort of going to pieces a little bit. Pieces. You're feeling fragmented a bit.
I am. Okay. At times, I am definitely feeling fragmented.
Okay. Any problems at work?
No.
So no difficulty caring about or concentrating on work as well? Sounds like
no.
Sounds like work is benefiting you a lot more than anything.
Yes.
That's great.
Yeah.
So indecision or concern about your choice of career or your major?
No, I'm really excited about it.
Yay. What about feeling like you're not doing as well at work as you should? Because work overall sounds like it's going pretty good.
No, I do a really good job at work.
That's awesome. Any problems with your romantic or sexual relationships?
No.
Okay. What about family problems?
No real family problems. Not right now, no.
Okay. And do you have difficulty getting along with others?
At times, yes.
So would you say maybe a 2 in that, or a 3?
2, yeah, 3. You can put a 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about feeling alone or isolated? Do you feel lonely?
Sometimes. Yeah, I'd say a 2.
Okay. Do you have any physical health problems?
No, I don't. Amazingly enough, no.
A lot of things too. A lot of strength.
Yeah.
A lot of good going on. Yeah.
Yes.
What about headaches? Do you have faint, dizziness, or headaches or anything like that?
Nope.
Okay. And trouble sleeping at all? Sounds like you do a little bit, right?
Yeah, a little bit. Yep.
So we'll do a 2 on that.
Yeah,
And
2.
you're eating, you said that your appetite remains the same.
Appetite's the same.
Okay. And you're obviously not using any alcohol.
Nope.
What about marijuana?
Nope.
No?
No, I did for a long, 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 long time, but I do not anymore and haven't in years and years.
Okay. So that's part of the substance history.
Yeah.
Any psychoactive drugs or prescribed drugs?
Nope.
No prescriptions at all. Okay.
Nope.
Okay. So I will kind of be able to score these, pretty quickly with you. And it looks like overall, it's kind of the same issues that we were talking about before.
Right.
With a lot of just situational things that are going on. Again, it sounds like you're able to open up with me a little bit more about some interpersonal things, feeling irritable and your perceptions of what's happening with you as opposed to how other people are seeing it. And so I think that would be a really great area to look at moving forward, just to kind of bring some more awareness into your life so that you can at least, it doesn't sound like any of those things are really falling apart right now for you and that it's all pretty strong. But, if we do want to help, kind of relieve some of that stress and just to know when, you are getting a lot done and you are feeling irritable because you have so much to do and then kind of criticizing yourself for lashing out or acting irritable
Right.
towards your others. And so to be more aware, to find ways that you can maybe manage, I think would really benefit you.
I think that sounds like a good idea. Good plan.
The last assessment that I just want to go over with you really fast is the anxiety disorder questionnaire for the DSM-5. And I didn't really pick up on any anxiety concerns from you, but I think that this one would be good just because it is a really common disorder to have, especially for as much as you're taking on for students. And
Yes.
I think that if we can locate some of the symptoms there, that we might be able to come up with some strategies to help with that in your daily life, whether that's,
Yeah, I definitely might have some situational anxiety.
Yeah, so some of the generalized anxiety, it might cover some areas that we can look at. So if we want to incorporate, some, like you said, some kind of technique to help with that, it could be useful to figure out kind of where you stand there.
Yep.
So yeah, just really briefly, we'll go through that. So all of these questions are going to be asking you about your, if any of these things have bothered you, just within the last 6 months.
Okay.
That's really what we're looking at. And so you're going to give me a score from 0 to 3. 0 is going to be not at all. And 3 is going to be nearly every single day. So 1 and 2 are just kind of several days or more than half. And then if you have questions about that at all as we go through, just let me know.
Okay.
So do you think that you get excessive anxiety or worry about a number of events or activities?
No, 0.
So you don't think that you worry about things or activities that are going on, or maybe just not excessively?
Not excessively.
Okay. So you did mention earlier to me that you worry all the time.
Yeah, but I'm pretty good. Like I can. It's kind of weird. I guess maybe it is all the time, but I constantly go to a mindfulness kind of thing. Like I worry and then I'm like, okay, no, it's going to be all right. This is just this. It's not a big deal. So it's kind of like maybe it is all the time, but I bring it back down all the time too.
Okay. So over the last 6 months, so in a 6 month period, would you say that several days out of that 6 month period that you've had some excessive anxiety or worry, or would you say that you haven't at all?
Oh yeah, no, I have.
Okay, so we'll say several days because it doesn't sound like more than half or every day, but maybe
Right.
several days.
Yeah.
Okay,
Sorry.
that's okay. The scoring, that's why it's important to understand how it's being scored. um, and then you did mention some feelings of being out of control. So do you find that it's difficult to control your worrying? As you just said,
Yes.
you have some coping skills, but over the last 6 months, have you found that you had several days where it was hard for you to control that?
Yes. So is that a one?
Yeah, one, or would you say more than half the time, or would it just be
One. Yeah, one.
one? Okay. So you're feeling restless or on edge, or have you felt restless on edge?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I would say two. A two.
Okay. Easily fatigued,
Yes.
more than
Uh,
half the time, or every
yeah.
day?
More than half the time. Probably every day. Yeah. Every day. I'm
Every
thinking.
day. Okay.
Yep.
And that's easily fatigued. So,
Yeah.
okay. Difficulty concentrating, or your mind goes blank,
Yes.
and how?
Frequently. Which one's that? Two? Three's every
Several
day?
days. Yeah, maybe frequent.
Not every day. Probably two.
Okay. What about irritability? You had mentioned that you've been feeling some irritability.
Yeah, two.
Okay. Muscle tension?
No, because like I said, my job is so. I don't know. I'm somehow in good shape, and my muscles don't get sore or anything like that.
Perfect. And disturbed sleep. So, having difficulty falling asleep, staying asleep.
No, not at all. Once I'm asleep, I stay asleep.
Perfect.
Sometimes I do have trouble falling asleep, though. Is that part of it?
Uh-huh.
Well, okay then.
So several days out of the 6 months,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
maybe more than half?
several days out of the month.
Okay. Do you find that of the above mentioned symptoms, do you feel like you're significantly distressed by them? And I'm asking kind of somewhat, very much, extremely, or not at all?
Somewhat,
Okay.
somewhat concerned about them.
Okay. And how difficult have these problems made it for you to do your work and take care of things at home and get on with other people?
It's somewhat had an effect. Is that an option?
So somewhat difficult, but not very.
No.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, so I think, kind of based on the results of this guy, without going into the exact score, it does look like there are some areas that we're seeing some, commonality across all three of the inventories. And I think that's really just your irritability, and part of that is not getting enough sleep and, worrying about what's coming up in the future and just kind of having a lot on your plate. So again, kind of situational stuff, but at least we have some areas to go from here. Irritability, kind of helping with that a little bit, finding ways to, help with the temper, or, be able to stay calm, and maybe that's getting extra help, or finding ways to reorganize, so you don't feel like you have to worry about things so much.
Yeah, that could be. I mean, a big one could be I could ask for help more often. I don't ask for help often, and I probably should. That's a good point.
Yeah, I think that's something that's really undervalued sometimes, especially when we are such functional people that are doing so much. It's hard
Right.
to imagine that someone else needs to come help us. Like, we're the ones that are helping others.
I know.
It's to ask for that feels like it's a weakness almost.
Yep, it does. And it's not.
It's really not, is it? No.
We tell other people it's not.
Exactly.
But we can't. heed her own advice.
Exactly. Okay, Mark. So I feel like we're really moving in the right direction here. I think we were able to get somewhere this time, and
Yep.
I feel like I've gotten to kind of know you a little bit better this time around. So that's good. Good for both of us.
Yes.
Before we kind of wrap up, there are a few other things I want to bits of information I want to grab from you, just that we didn't really cover last time. Some demographical information. How old are you, Mark?
I'm 46.
Okay. And did you grow up in America, or do you have another race that you identify with?
Nope, America.
And your ethnicity? How would you?
I'm Irish, English, mostly.
So white Caucasian, maybe?
Yep.
Okay. And your marital status, you said you're married, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, perfect. And then just a little bit of background information I wanted to gather from you. If you wouldn't mind just kind of telling me a little bit about your family history. Your family, we'll start with the family and then maybe some interpersonal things too, like past relationships and that sort of thing. So maybe anything that particularly stands out for you.
Okay. Well, I am the oldest of 3 children. I have a younger brother and a younger sister. My parents divorced when I was 11 years old. Then my mother went and moved to California with some other guy and left me with my father, who he wasn't a bad father, but like he wasn't a really good father either. Like my mom was like the one I really like. She was my go-to person, and she was gone. And then she came back, and I moved in with her. And I had a I don't know what kind of childhood or adolescence. I kind of rebelled like against I don't know what when I was in my adolescence, like in junior high, senior high. Like did a lot of drinking, did a lot of drugs. I don't know what I was angry at, but that too is when I realized, like after high school, that I was an alcoholic for sure. So right now, I'm very close with my mother. I do not speak to my father. I haven't spoke to my dad in like 4 years, 5 years. I don't know. He kind of, I don't know. He got remarried to this lady who kind of like disowned me, and he doesn't even see his grandkids or anything. It's really sad. So like my dad's not a part of my life. My brother and sister and I are very close. We've been through a lot together. Like I said, we live with my mom, who was a single mom, and like she did the best she could, but we were kind of poor, and we like really hung together as like the 3 of us. What else?
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Was there any major, so yeah, I mean, you really covered a lot of stuff there. It sounds like
Yeah.
you gave me a really good brief kind of overview of what it was like for you
Yeah.
growing up, and there weren't any major events or anything like that you can think of, or history of like maybe medical history.
No.
Okay.
I was never physically abused or anything like that. The only thing I was witness to my parents, my father's physical abuse to my mother. So I did witness that for a while, a long time.
And physical abuse?
Yeah, physical abuse. Like he would hit her and like I remember hiding under my bed and stuff like that. Like it was bad. Like I was happy when they got divorced. I was like, thank God they got divorced. It's kind of weird, but
Sure.
so that is something that really sticks out in my mind. And maybe that's, I don't know where some of my anger came at when I was an adolescent. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably very likely that it did. You're a kid, so there wasn't anything you could do.
Yeah.
to protect your mom.
Yeah. Yeah, it was hard.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah,
That is hard.
it is.
But it sounds like you guys are in a good place now for the most
Yeah,
part.
we are. We are. I have a good relationship with my mom. I see her all the time. See my brother and sister all the time. We all live in the same area. I have a close knit family. My aunts and uncles and cousins are all in the area. We're very close knit. Um, so I have a lot of support,
Perfect. Okay.
a lot of love.
Mm-hmm. That's what it's all about.
Yep.
Can you give me a little bit of your educational and vocational history? So I know, obviously,
Yes.
you told me a little bit about the younger years of education
Yeah.
after high school.
Yeah. So, like I said, high school, I barely graduated. I mean, and I wasn't dumb. It wasn't because of my.
Mm-hmm.
It was because I didn't show up to school. That's why. Like I got really good grades, but I just decided like I don't want to go to school anymore. And I graduated. I did graduate, and I went to Westchester University, which is a local college around here, and I got my degree in economics and finance. I did really, really well in college. I graduated cum laude and all that stuff, and I got a job with the Moody's, the people that do the ratings, like the AAA and AA ratings. It's basically a job with a financial firm. And I started like at the bottom, and like I worked my way up the ladder to become like an associate director of the company. I was doing really well. But my drinking got the better of me, and I ended up losing like that job that was, on hindsight, like it wasn't my dream job. I was really good at it, but I think everything happens for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And so losing that job was actually like the catalyst that made me straighten out my life, get help. And then I worked for the family owns a company. My uncle owns a company, so I worked for him for a few years. And then I decided I wanted to go back to school and get my degree in this and help other people that have substance abuse issues.
So, and that's your primary area of focus is substance abuse, addiction,
Yep.
counseling?
Yeah, it's my focus. Yeah, that's where I'm doing my practicum and internship at a substance abuse place.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
And how's that going?
It's going really well. I mean, that's really like, besides having to do their like DAP notes every day for them, which is like I feel like I have enough to do. But anyway, it's going really well. I get a lot out of it.
Okay.
It's a win-win situation.
Perfect. So it's where you want to be.
Where I want to be.
And what are you doing for work right now?
Right now, I work for a feed. It's an agricultural firm. They supply like massive amounts of feed to like farms, dairies in the area.
When you're working out in the labor part, right? So like out in the outside in the fields, or
I'm working. I deliver a lot of things like a big truck. It's pretty much what I do most of the day. We create skids of food, 50-pound bags, and we create big giant skids of food, and we wrap them up and we deliver them to farms. And so it's really physical. It pays really well. But
okay, yeah.
But I like it. I like it now, and I'm doing well there. But I won't cry when I move to a.
Yeah, it's an end to a means to an end.
Exactly. That's how.
And it's satisfying you in some way too, which is great.
Yeah.
You know. Yep. Yeah. So really, you're in a good place. It sounds like overall, even despite being spread so thin, it's hard to.
Yep.
Hard to manage it all.
It is sometimes.
Yeah. Would you say, from your medical history, you didn't say
Mhm.
you were on any drugs. You said your physical health is good.
Yep.
So maybe just
I don't have any.
alcohol, I guess, was really just the main thing, some alcohol
Yeah,
abuse.
yeah. I mean, I guess, yeah. I mean, I'll always have that, but I'm in recovery, so
Yeah, and I would probably, yeah. And I guess I only mentioned that did it have any effects on your overall like physical health or anything?
it didn't. I'm just,
Okay.
I'm lucky. I don't know how it didn't,
You're just a
but
healthy cat.
I'm just a healthy dude.
What about mental health? Have you had any history of mental health in your family or you or anything like
Um, Not really. Well, both of my grandparents on my mother's side were alcoholics.
that? Okay, so really alcoholism is the main.
Yep, alcoholism is in the family. Um, that's kind of about it.
Okay.
But that's definitely where I got it from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really does run, it's easy. You're not just taught those, it's not just an example that's being set down the generational line, but I think that there are some biology, at play too. You're
Yep.
more we all, some of us operate in different levels and yeah, so I think we did a really good job kind of
Sure
figuring
did.
out how we're going to proceed moving forward. And like I said, I was really the only last bits of information I need from you. And I think that will help us a lot um, as we develop kind of a future plan. So it
Yeah.
was really good chatting with you again this time, Mark. And
Yeah, absolutely,
I
Mallory.
wish you all the best with everything
Yep.
that's going on in your life because you're doing
Yep.
a lot and, good work.
Yep. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.